In a coordinated overnight operation on June 21, 2025, the United States Air Force launched a series of targeted airstrikes against key Iranian nuclear facilities. The strike package was carried out using B-2 Spirit stealth bombers and Tomahawk cruise missiles, according to multiple U.S. defense and intelligence sources. The confirmed targets included 3 highly fortified Iranian nuclear installations: Fordow fuel enrichment plant, located near Qom, buried deep under mountain layers; Natanz uranium enrichment facility, Iran's primary center for gas centrifuge work; Isfahan nuclear complex, a site linked to fuel production and heavy water reactor components. The Department of Defense confirmed that 6 B-2 bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and flew a round-trip mission with aerial refueling support. Their primary target was Fordow, where they deployed up to 6 GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrators, 30,000-pound bombs specifically designed to destroy deeply buried targets. Additional strikes on Natanz and Isfahan were carried out using Tomahawk cruise missiles, launched from U.S. Navy submarines in the Persian Gulf. The B-2 Spirit remains the only aircraft in the U.S. inventory capable of delivering the GBU-57 MOP. With a flying wing design and low radar signature, the B-2 can penetrate heavily defended airspace undetected. The bombers traveled over 7,000 miles round-trip, supported by KC-135 and KC-46 tanker aircraft during mid-air refueling phases over the Atlantic and Middle East regions. This marks the first confirmed combat use of the B-2 against Iranian soil. In a televised address shortly after the operation, President Donald J. Trump stated,
"A time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan." Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left.
U.S. Central Command confirmed that the operation had been meticulously planned over the past several weeks. Intelligence agencies provided satellite imagery and surveillance data that reportedly showed escalated activity at Fordow, which has been under IAEA scrutiny. Iran's response. Iranian state media acknowledged explosions near Fordow and Natanz, but did not confirm the extent of damage. A spokesperson for Iran's Supreme National Security Council accused the U.S. of aggression and vowed retaliation at the time and place of our choosing. Unofficial images from Iranian sources show damaged infrastructure and smoke rising from mountain entrances near the Fordow facility. However, no radiation release has been reported. International reaction. Israel expressed full support for the U.S. operation. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called it a necessary and decisive step and confirmed Israeli intelligence cooperation in the lead-up to the strikes. Russia and China condemned the strikes and called for an emergency UN Security Council meeting, warning that the move risked further destabilizing the region. European Union officials urged restraint and offered to mediate renewed diplomatic talks between Washington and Tehran. Military analysts note that Fordow's location, more than 300 feet under rock, poses a serious challenge for conventional weapons. The use of MOPS indicates a clear intent to fully neutralize hardened facilities, regardless of depth. Satellite imagery before and after the attack shows visible surface damage and signs of structural collapse around tunnel entrances and reinforced bunkers. Analysts from Jane's Defense Weekly and IHS Markit confirmed structural deformation at Fordow. Tomahawk missiles were likely used to suppress radar installations, air defense systems, and to strike less fortified nuclear components at Isfahan and Natanz. Strategic implications. The airstrikes mark a turning point in the long-running U.S.-Iran nuclear standoff. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action had collapsed years earlier, and Iran has since resumed high-level enrichment activity. Iran's nuclear facilities, particularly Fordow, were believed to be approaching weapons-grade capabilities. The U.S. operation was reportedly triggered by satellite-confirmed movement of uranium stockpiles and activation of advanced centrifuges. What comes next? Pentagon officials stated that the mission is complete, but that U.S. forces remain on alert in the region. Missile defense systems in Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have been raised to their highest readiness levels. As of this report, Iran has not launched a direct military response, though regional militias aligned with Tehran have threatened action against U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. Closing summary. The June 21, 2025 strike represents one of the most significant uses of strategic air power by the United States in the Middle East in over a decade. With the deployment of B-2 stealth bombers and bunker-busting weaponry, the United States has demonstrated a calibrated yet high-impact approach to halting Iran's nuclear ambitions. The situation remains fluid. The world watches for signs of escalation or the return to diplomacy. Stay subscribed to our channel for ongoing conflicts updates. Thank you for watching.